Point number 2, the power of presence. It says worry drags us into an endless cycle of thinking about the past or anticipating the future. We overanalyze mistakes, obsess over what could go wrong, and lose touch with the only thing that truly exists, this present moment. Surrendering to the now means accepting that this moment is enough as it is. Man, I could really attest to this. Worry will drag you into an endless cycle of thinking about the past or anticipating the future. And when you're in a state of worry, it's impossible to be present. Because worry it means that you're fixating on something outside of this moment. You're worrying so much about an outcome, about a future thing happening, or you're worrying so much about something that already happened, or this thing or that, whatever it is, you're fretting about the past, right? And we obsess over these things, and we lose touch with the one thing that truly exists, and that's this moment. The only thing that truly exists in this moment is this moment. Not a month from now, not a month ago. It's only this moment. So being able to shift your gauge to this moment and make the most out of where you are can help you so much to stop worrying about the things outside of this moment. It says the present moment is the only space where life happens. When you live in the past or future, you're missing out on the gift of now. Come on. Letting go of what ifs allows you to fully experience what is. Worry does not change the future. It only steals joy from the present. That is a bar. And so often with these things, whether it's worry, anxiety, whatever, it's not so much about completely getting rid of them. It's about understanding them on a deeper level and shifting our perspective on them, right? It's about shifting our perspective on these things so that we can understand them in a new way and navigate them in a more aligned, authentic way, right? Now that you know that worry doesn't change the future, it only steals joy from the present. Whenever you fall into that trap or that loop of worry, you can have the awareness to see it and the intention of understanding that, okay, I know that worrying about this thing isn't going to change it. It isn't going to fix it. It's only causing more stress and frustration to me in this moment and taking away from the gifts that I have right now. And so understanding that, now you can start to take steps towards bringing yourself back to the present. It doesn't mean that you're not still going to feel worry. You're not going to still feel anxiety and things of that nature. But the way you navigate these things change. And that's really where you want to get to life. It is not about getting rid of all these things. It's not about living a life where you never worry. It's not about living a life where you never have anxiety. It's not about living a life where you never go through tough seasons. It's about shifting your perspective on these things, shifting your relationship to these things so that you can navigate them in a healthier way, so that you can use them and view them as guides and ways to grow rather than blockages and hindrance to your growth. And it's a completely different life you will live when you shift your perspective on these things. Letting go of what ifs allows you to fully experience what is. Oh, what if this happened? Oh, what if that happened? Oh, what if they did this? What if they did that? Hey, you can what if yourself to death. Focus on what is. What is currently the reality of your situation, and let's operate from that place. Because that means we're operating from truth. We're not operating from a facade or a fear-based illusion that our mind has come up with. We're operating from what actually is. And when you operate from what is, that means you can start to move towards what is for you. Some tangible steps for step number 2. Use grounding techniques. I love this. This is a great technique that I actually tried when I was working towards this podcast, and it helps. It really does. If you find yourself worrying, try the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So name 5 things you see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you taste. This brings you back to the present, because I was just in my room and I saw this and I tried it, and immediately, like, you start focusing on everything that you have around you right now. So it immediately takes you away from giving so much energy to that worry, right? And if you just keep doing that and practicing it, you're going to get better at bringing yourself back to the present. Come on. So 5 things you see, right? So it's like, I see a poster that says never a dull moment. I see a painting of a tree in a pond. I see a coffee mug on the top of that shelf. I see a marble jar. I see a couch behind the camera. 4 things you touch. I can touch my journal, my computer, a book, and the coffee mug, and this pen, just to add one. 3 things you hear. I hear my own voice. That's one. I hear the heating thing in the back, and I hear the clock ticking. 3 things you smell. I smell this black coffee, and I smell the body oil that I have on. 1 thing you taste. I taste the black coffee. But right there, just in that moment, I was so focused on trying to find these things that's where my energy was in this moment. I couldn't even think about the worry or whatever it was. I was so focused on the 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. So try that. Schedule mindful pauses throughout your day. Set a reminder 3 times a day to stop, take a deep breath, and check in with your body. Ask yourself, am I here now, or am I outside of this present moment? I was talking to CJ about this yesterday, and I don't think we understand the power of our breath. I don't think we understand the power of a deep breath, right? I don't think we understand it, man. Like, whenever I am stressed out, whenever I'm maybe falling into anxious thoughts or worrying a little bit too much, what a really intentional deep breath can do for me in that moment changes everything. And that's really how you regulate your nervous system, right? When you're feeling all of these different things, rather than trying to figure it all out in the moment, pause and take a deep breath. I'm talking in through the nose, out through the mouth. And do that as many times as you need to feel like you're bringing yourself back to baseline, bringing yourself back to the moment, bringing yourself back to calmness. Even after doing that just now, I feel a sense of calmness within myself, and it can help tremendously. Some quotes. It says, worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrows. It empties today of its strength. Like I said, just reframing these things, changing your perspective on these things can help so much. Whenever I'm worrying, I understand that all I am doing is taking away the gift of today, taking away the strength of today, and focusing on something that does not even exist. It does not even exist, right? And saying that to myself, whether it's internally or actually out loud, helps me just to remind myself that, hey, worrying doesn't do any good for you, right? So let's navigate this in a healthy way and get ourselves back to the present with the tangible steps that we can use to do that, whether it's a deep breath or whether it's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, whether it's journaling, right? Whether it's a conversation with a trusted individual that you have in your life, whatever it may be. Eckhart Tolle, he's an amazing spiritual teacher. I think he wrote the book, The Power of Now. I still have yet to read it. I got to read that. But he says, realize deeply that the present moment is all you have. When you truly understand that, when you truly understand that all that you have is this moment, and you start navigating from that space, your life is going to shift. Your life is going to shift, right? The awareness to see when you're not in the moment and the intention to bring yourself back to the moment, to understand that all that I have is this moment. That is it. I just need to make the most out of this moment every single day. And you're going to get exactly to where you need to be.